Ethan Carter had everything: a successful architecture firm in Seattle, a beautiful lakefront home, and a wife he adored. Claire had been his muse, his partner, his peace. She was radiant, driven, and full of warmth when they met 6 years ago at a charity gala. Her laughter had been infectious, her curiosity genuine. Ethan often told his friends that meeting her was like finding sunlight after years of gray. Their love was passionate and consuming. Dinners under the city lights, shared blueprints, sprawled across the living room floor, quiet Sunday mornings filled with coffee and jazz. For a long time, Ethan believed they were inseparable, but love, when neglected, begins to change shape. It fades not in storms, but in silences. Claire's affection began to wither. Missed dinners, unanswered texts, excuses wrapped in corporate deadlines. Ethan told himself it was work pressure, that it would pass. But the truth was already unraveling beneath the surface. One night, unable to sleep, he followed her. She drove across town, far from her office, and parked outside a luxury hotel. Moments later, a man stepped out of an SUV at him. Hayes, Ethan's best friend and business partner. The sight froze him. They embraced like lovers who had been waiting too long. Ethan didn't move. He didn't scream. He just sat there, watching his world burn quietly behind glass. His best friend, his wife, two people who had shared his table, his dreams, his life. That night, he came home before her and waited in silence. When Claire entered, smiling faintly, he said nothing. He poured her a glass of wine, kissed her cheek, and whispered, "You're home late." She smiled, the kind of smile liars wear when they think the truth is buried too deep to be found out inside. Ethan Carter made a promise. He would not lash out. He would not expose them immediately. He would rebuild his life, and when they least expected it, he would take everything they'd stolen from him. For the next month, Ethan lived two lives stop by day. He was the same devoted husband, the same calm partner at Hayes and Carter Designs. But by night, he turned into something else, meticulous, watchful, quietly dangerous. He began collecting evidence, hotel receipts, call logs, emails. He hired a private investigator who returned with photographs, Claire and Adam together in restaurants, at hotels, holding hands. The truth was inescapable now, but Ethan didn't confront them. Not yet. He played along. He invited Adam and Claire to dinner, pretending everything was fine. They smiled, laughed, toasted to new beginnings. Every glance between them that they thought went unnoticed, Ethan caught them all. "Adam," Ethan said one night, raising his glass, "I've been thinking of stepping back for a while. You've got great instincts for leadership. Maybe you should handle our next big project alone." Adam's grin was immediate, greedy. Claire's eyes flickered with pride, the kind you reserve for a co-conspirator. That's when Ethan knew his plan was working. Over the next few weeks, he began transferring minor responsibilities to Adam: design approvals, budgets, client meetings. Slowly, he gave Adam enough control to hang himself. Behind the scenes, Ethan's lawyer helped him restructure ownership papers, securing his assets quietly. He also installed discreet cameras in his office and synced every device to his cloud. One night, Claire kissed him goodnight, whispering, "You've been distant lately." Ethan smiled. "Just tired. You know how demanding clients are." She smiled back, unaware that he'd already stopped being her husband. What she was seeing now was just the calm before her world fell apart. 2 months later, Ethan's plan was ready. Adam had convinced him to let him lead a multi-million-dollar client project. Behind Ethan's back, Adam manipulated financial reports, funneling company funds to an offshore account, thinking no one would notice. But Ethan had been watching every move. He compiled all the evidence, the stolen money, the affair, the lies, into a single encrypted file labeled Project Truth. One Friday morning, Ethan called for an emergency meeting with the board. Adam arrived late, looking confident. Claire was there too, smiling politely as if nothing was wrong. "Adam," Ethan began calmly, "why don't you explain the discrepancy in last quarter's report?" Adam frowned. "What discrepancy?" Ethan clicked a remote. The large screen behind him came alive, showing video clips, emails, and transaction records. Adam's face drained of color. Claire's breath hitched when she saw their hotel photos projected on the boardroom wall. "Here's your affair," Ethan said coldly, "and here's your fraud." The room went silent except for the hum of the projector. Adam stammered something about misunderstandings, but it was over. The board voted unanimously to remove him and launch an investigation. Claire tried to follow Ethan out of the building, but he turned to her, voice sharp and calm. "I gave you everything, Claire. My trust, my love, my life. And you threw it away for greed." Tears welled in her eyes. "Ethan, please, I never wanted to hurt you." He paused. "You already did." And with that, he walked away, leaving her trembling in the empty lobby. Within weeks, Adam's name was dragged through headlines. Architect accused of fraud. Claire's company discovered her involvement, and she was fired. Their perfect facade shattered under public humiliation. Ethan, however, kept silent. He didn't gloat. He didn't appear on TV. He simply moved on. But at night, he still found himself staring at old photographs of Claire laughing, of the life they'd once shared. Betrayal hurts differently when it comes from someone you built your future around. One evening, Claire showed up at his door. Her eyes were red, her voice shaking. "I lost everything, Ethan. Adam's gone. I have nowhere else to go." He looked at her, the woman who had once been his world, and felt nothing but exhaustion. "You had a home once," he said quietly. "You destroyed it." She reached out to touch him, but he stepped back. "Goodbye, Claire." He closed the door, and this time he didn't look back. A year later, Ethan Carter stood on a stage in San Francisco, accepting an award for Innovative Architectural Design of the Year. The applause was thunderous, but his expression was calm. His new firm, Carter Studios, had become one of the fastest growing in the Pacific Northwest. He thought of Claire and Adam, both bankrupt, forgotten, footnotes in a story of betrayal. After the ceremony, a journalist asked him, "Mr. Carter, what drives your success?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Integrity," he said. "Because once you lose that, nothing you build can stand." That night, standing on the balcony of his hotel, Ethan finally felt peace. The city lights shimmered below, and for the first time in years, the silence didn't feel lonely. It felt free. Love had betrayed him, but pain had forged him into something stronger. And as the wind whispered through the Seattle skyline, Ethan, Carter realized that sometimes the most beautiful rebuilds come after the most devastating demolitions.